Welcome back, guys, to the Great Ace Attorney 2 Resolve, where last episode, after learning of the Red-Haired League and the reason for Sholmes' new hairstyle, we headed out to visit Mel Strongheart as we witnessed him talking with Barak Van Zeeks. On then returning to Sholmes' abode, we met his newest client, Evie Vigil, whose husband has been missing for a day. With Mr. Vigil, the person in charge of managing capital punishment for those at Barclay Prison, we now head to the graveyard behind it that housed the professor at Hairlock's behest, as we wonder what we might learn. Made it sound like I said that the graveyard housed the professor at Herlock's behest, but we're going on Herlock's behest to check it out. So let's get underway. Clarification for an intro is never a good thing, but we'll roll with it as we head to the prison governor's office. Barclay Prison is on the outskirts of London, backing onto a lonely burial ground. Its four high outer walls loomed quietly before us in the fog. Having requested a meeting, we were shown to the governor's office in the watchtower. What a lovely grandfather clock that is. This place is full of hardened criminals. I can't even remember the last time a civilian was doing here. Oh, it's Scottish now. And you didn't want to talk to an inmate. But to me, I can't do that. I love all the bar motifs on him. Chicken and wham! I'm the governor, by Caidin. Oh, yes, it's a pleasure. I'm Rinosuke Naruhodo, defense lawyer. And an Easterner, I see. Does that mean... Yes, I'm a visiting student of law from the Empire of Japan. Japan? Did you say Japan? Yes? Well, there's no any of your kind in here, laddie. Maybe you should try the prison next door, eh? Okay. I didn't know it's another prison next door, sir. Anyway, we came to ask you some questions about... I didn't like to be so direct, but... I've no intention of speaking with a lot of you suspicious-looking Easterners. Yeah. Now get out of my hair. So as soon as he finds out that we're from Japan, he reacts like this. That surely means... I think it's because of the professor case. You think so too? 10 years ago, Genshin Asugi, also known as the Professor, was incarcerated at this prison. And then, after his execution, he apparently re-emerged from his grave in the cemetery behind the prison. I might have known! You're sniffing around about that case, aren't ya? Your agents, eh? Part of the Professor's great web, no doubt. No, not at all. We're just... Get gone with ya before I punch your light suit. We're going! Clearly the ghost of that killer still haunts this place. We're not going to get anywhere here. Unless we can somehow prove to this man that there's nothing suspicious about us. Governor Caidin? What are you thinking, Miss Susato? I feel sure that name came up in conversation recently somewhere. I was wondering if whoever mentioned him might have some ideas to help us. Come to think of it, I have the same feeling. Right, well, we won't examine your room just yet, then. We're going over here, right? Hello, you've come down, have you? That's Professor Mikotoba over there. Hello, you two. I was just taking a moment to catch up on the world now that I'm unpacked. But where's Judge Jigoku? Yes, he's not the relaxing sort. He's taken himself off to pay his respects to all the legal bigwigs. Having only just arrived in the country today. Goodness, he is full of energy. Professor, you mentioned something before about how you'd known the prison governor at Barclay Prison. Oh, Governor Caidin, you mean? So it is the same man. Father, we must speak with the governor. But he refused to talk to us. He said we were suspicious Easterners. Well, I'm sure if I accompanied you, it would be a very different story. Oh, would you? That would be wonderful, if you have time now. Sadly, as you can see, I'm very busy at the moment. Busy drinking coffee on a comfortable settee. Now, I have rather a lot to prepare for tomorrow, you know. Oh, sorry. I didn't say that out loud, did I? You Mikotobas are alarmingly good at reading people's thoughts. Or could it be that you Naruhodos are alarmingly bad at hiding your thoughts? Let's not fool out now. I have an idea. What's he writing on that piece of paper? Here's a letter of introduction for you. Hopefully when he sees my name, he'll change his tune. Ah, thank you. A letter of introduction has been entered into the court record. Good luck then. Want to talk about anything else? Anything else going on in here? Nope. Professor Mikotoba's wonderful handwriting, doesn't he? This dark-suited young man is not in the least bit untrustworthy. Is it just me, or does that make me sound extremely untrustworthy? I do wish he'd at least called you a nice young man. I'm really not sure that would help. A Blackbird line. Oh, it looks like this is some sort of steamship ticket. The SS Grouse, first class cabin, number 1. Yokohama departure, 11th September. London arrival, 1st of November. Ah, that's the boat that Professor Mikotoba and Judge Jigoku came on from Japan, isn't it? Yes, I think it called at Dunkirk, on the north coast of France, for a night before finally arriving in Dover. The thing has been almost a year since we arrived in Dover on the SS Burlia. It seems a shame not to keep your ticket as a memento of your trip, don't you think? Yes, I agree. I have mine safely in my diary. And I keep mine in my wallet, so I have it with me at all times. Oh, well, how strange. Where could it have gone? Are you like this on purpose, Mr. Naruhodo? Did I imagine it, or was that comment accompanied by a little sigh? Ooh, that got updated. It's written on the back of a ticket for passage on a steamship. Meanwhile, we've got this picture here. Is there anything to be paid attention to, I wonder? Let's move on then. Now that we sorted things out here, back to the governor's office. Second time's the charm, they say. Should we examine first? I said get out! That's how Scottish people sound, surely. Get out! I want to present it. Yeah. You just cast your eyes over this, Governor Caidin. What's this then? You can't pull the walls over my eyes, good for nothing Japanese student. Mikotoba. That young jock from the forensics laboratory. That Mikotoba. Yes, exactly him. Oh dear, perhaps I should have said something sooner. I'm Eugene Mikotoba's daughter, Susato. Shings! You're the young man's daughter? I didn't think to mention that before. I do apologize. Aye, well, you'd best be taking a seat then. Can I offer you a cup of tea, perhaps? And didn't forget to try one of these wee handcuff biscuits. Oh, nice. Your father's influence is nothing short of amazing. I'm bitterly regretting not announcing who I was from the outset now. So then, what can I do for you, En? Well, we are currently investigating a case. It's one of your warders, you see. He's gone missing. Missing? That's right. It's surely been reported to you as well, being the prison governor. I've heard nothing of the sort. There's no missing persons in my prison. Oh, but how can that be? It's Mr. Daily Vigil, your chief warder? Vigil? That's right. His wife came to us and asked us to investigate his disappearance. Let's skip the part about him only going missing yesterday for now. Clearly that means something to him. Would you be so kind as to tell us what you know, sir? Aye, of course. Can I examine your cool thing now? Oh, let's examine it after we've talked. Chief Warder Vigil. We understand that Mr. Vigil is the chief warder here at the prison. Aye, that he was. Strong sense of responsibility and dedicated to the job, no doubt about it. He was a fine warder. Sorry, did you say was? Aye, he doesn't work here no more. He left the job. Oh my! When was this exactly? There's a question. When was it about? It cannot be much less than 10 years ago now. What? 10 years ago? He stopped working here 10 years ago. Aye, as I mind it. Chicken, I haven't heard the fella's name in all that time. That's a worry if he's gone missing though. But Mrs. Vigil made no mention of it. I think perhaps, Mr. Naruhodo, that his wife simply doesn't know. I think she's unaware that he no longer works here. Governor Caidin, can you tell us what happened? Why did Mr. Vigil give up his job here? That's important, is it? Yes, I believe it may be. What are you thinking, Mr. Naruhodo? I can't help wondering, given that it was 10 years ago. Which was exactly when the professor was being held at this prison. So Mr. Vigil actually resigned from the position of chief warder 10 years ago, you're telling us? What happened to make him leave the job? In actual fact, he didn't leave the job willingly. He had no choice in the matter. You mean he was dismissed? It was after a particular walk. Sorry, a walk? Aye, that's our word for it here. A walk to the gallows. An execution. It's the job of the chief warder to prepare the gallows tree and oversee any executions, you see. Only Vigil did something unthinkable on that last walk he was manning. What did he do? I'm sorry, but I cannot reveal that information. But I can tell you that it's very rare for a chief warder to be relieved of its post. But why wouldn't Mrs. Vigil know about it? She appears to be under the impression that her husband still works here. I wouldn't have cared anything about that, I'm afraid. Can you perhaps answer one more question about the circumstances of his dismissal? And what would that be, Anne? That last execution that Mr. Vigil was responsible for overseeing. Was it by any chance the professor's? My thoughts exactly. I'm sorry, I really am. But I'm not at no liberty to answer that. But I'm not at liberty, sorry. I see. I'm correcting the Scottish now. The mind. Reading fast, it always makes you kind of a little bit predictive. Sometimes that fails. Sometimes that corrects mistakes in actual games mistranslations. Or, you know, bad grammar. Sometimes it makes bad grammar. Or just goes away from the original intentions. Damn it. Professor Mikatoba. My father came to Britain all those years ago in order to study forensic medicine. But you seem to have been well acquainted. The dead room, the prison, and the cemetery have a lot to do with one another. After all, they need fresh corpses for forensic research. Do you ken? Yes, I can imagine. The advancement of medical science isn't always particularly palatable. Your father worked in a laboratory just on the far side of the graveyard. In the basement of St. Sinners. It's still in use today. St. Sinners? That's come up before, I'm sure. Yes, that's right. We've been there. Mikatoba and I used to ride in a carriage together and negotiate terms. For more fresh material, I suppose. Aye, and we used to sit in here for hours and gab on about dissection and all sorts. Oh, it takes me back. Over a pot of tea and a plate of cuffed biscuits, of course. How charming. He was a good fella, your father. Reliable, dead set on his work. But I'm afraid I'll never understand you Japanese. Because of Genshin Asuki, I suppose. Well, I can't tell you anything else. Thank you so much for your time, Governor. Ah, one moment for you away, Anne. I'm sure I have it here somewhere. Ah, found it. Here, take this as a wee souvenir of your visit to the prison. What is it? That's Vigil's dismissal notice. It's 10 years old now, of course. Oh my, are you sure? Aye, it's no trouble at all. It's not the original, mind. Vigil's dismissal notice has been entered in the court record. You can really just give that out? The harsh reprimand incurred by Mr. Vigil 10 years ago that resulted in him losing his job as Chief Warder of Barclay Prison. Thank you very much, Governor Caidin. Well, in return, do me a favor and never come back here. That case is closed. Well, I think we ought to return to Baker Street for the time being. Yes, I agree. We need to report back to Mr. Sholmes with what we found out about Mr. Vigil. What would he tell Mrs. Vigil, I wonder? Right, now we can examine the room and what we just got. Ah, look, we have an opportunity here now, while the governor is away. Mr. Nalahodo, you could be imprisoned if you were caught. That's a good point. Perhaps not then. The opportunity is just to play with anything by the look of it. Does seem to be the case. Actually, that's examining the entirety of the room. There is only one examine. Oh well. Okay, Chief Warder Daily Vigil is relieved of his post with immediate effect for having violated Clause 132 of Her Majesty's Code of Conduct for Prisons on the 25th of June. All rights to redundancy pay and other financial benefits are fully revoked. Ooh, big bad. Reason for dismissal: aiding and abetting the escape from this prison of convict, the professor, just prior to his execution. Details of this escape are still being investigated. Full cooperation with inquiries will be expected. Prison Governor Barry Caidin. Additional notes. Indications are that the jailbreak plot was conceived prior to the convict's incarceration. It's believed that the convict engaged in some form of negotiation with prison staff in order to secure assistance. Full disclosure of information regarding these negotiations will be demanded. So there's more to learn here, most likely. Back to Baker Street. We're back! Hello, you two! Ah, see, Iris. I thought you'd be back before long, so I baked some scones for us all. Ah, so that's what the delicious smell is. Greetings, my dear fellows. You've returned a good deal sooner than I was anticipating. Hello, Mr. Sholmes. Hello, Mr. Sholmes. Say nothing. Your thoughts are written all over your faces in any case. It turns out that it may have been advisable to test my hair color restoration tonic before application. Oh my. Blay, tell me, what of our warder friend? Have you garnered some new information? Oh, yes. Something very surprising, in fact. There was not a patch on your hair, to be honest. It most certainly isn't. But still, we discovered that... Sholmes! Drop everything, Sholmes. This is more important. Gina? I can't believe it. What's happened? Clearly a very grave matter indeed. For Miss Lestrade made no mention of my hair whatsoever. It's the boss. What do you mean? Inspector Gregson? The boss is... He's dead. What? They just found his body. Shot with a pistol. What? But... Inspector Gregson! He was murdered. No, not Gregsy. Come in, my dear girl. Tell us the whole story. Oh my goodness. Are you serious, Gina? Inspector Gregson he was really shot. I don't know much about what happened myself yet. They're still there, investigating the scene. Where did this take place? A little rented room in a building full of flats on Fresno Street. The outskirts of town, nowhere near his home. He was perhaps investigating a case then. The thing is, no one at the yard knows nothing about no case around there. Oh, how strange. The boss he was so good to me. I know I ain't up to much yet, but one day I was gonna show him. I was gonna show him I'd become a proper detective. Oh, Ginny. So who did this? Do you have any idea who the culprit is? They got him already. Already? They've caught the shooter so soon. A witness reported something was going on, and the boys got straight down there and took care of him. Who? What awful person did this? I still can't believe it myself. Gina? It was the Reaper. Wait a minute, you don't mean they've arrested Lord Van Zeeks for it? That's right. That Reaper bloke's gone and shot the boss. No, Lord Van Zeeks. Are you quite sure, Mr. Strad? It's Barrett Van Zeeks the police have arrested. I saw him with my own eyes, in the interview room, at the yard. I don't believe it! But there were witnesses, and they were all saying it was him. So you mean there were actually multiple witnesses? They heard the gunshot, apparently. And when our lot got to the scene, there was only the boss and that Reaper bloke in the room. But there's no way Lord Van Zeeks would have taken Gregson's life. I just don't believe it. I don't believe it either. Thank you for informing us, Mr. Strad. This really is most terrible news. I'm dreadfully sorry. What are you saying sorry for? You didn't do nothing. Well, anyway, I'm taking a cab over to the scene right now. Please come and all, as soon as you can. You've got to help. It's a detective's lot to appear wherever some sinister plot is unfolded. Little wonder we all look haggard. Sometimes these things are almost too much for the nerves. Mr. Sholmes. What use is there in being a great detective if I fail to see something like this coming, How could I let this happen to Gregson? To Gregson! Mr. Naruhodo, I shall leave at once to begin my investigations. Of course, yes, we will too. It would be helpful if you could talk to Mr. Reaper and see what you can glean. I'm sure you were intending to do so anyway. Until later then. Inspector Gregson, dead, and Lord Van Zeeks arrested. Bruno, Susie, I've called you a hansom. It's waiting outside. Thanks, Iris. Shall we, Miss Susato? Yes. A new location has been added. Let's head to prison. You're sitting there rather calmly. There he is. Lord Van Zeek's behind bars. So it's true. He really was arrested. He's sitting with his back to the wall, reading something. I don't think he's noticed us. Lord Van Zeek's. Fancy meeting you here. The last place on Earth I'd like to be, with the last person on Earth I'd like to see. I couldn't very well not come. We heard what happened. That you and Inspector Gregson was... And go home. This has nothing to do with you. But... Forgive me, Lord Van Zeeks, but I must disagree. Inspector Gregson was very helpful to us on a number of occasions. We're indebted to him. At the very least, we owe it to him to find out the truth about his death. You must help us with our investigations, please. There's really nothing I can tell you. What were you just reading at the back of the cell there? Was this something related to the case? This? The Yard isn't quite so cavalier of its information as to share case details with a suspect. This is a letter from an old acquaintance. Oh, who might that be? Someone you know. As it happens, Albert Harebrain. Of course, yes. I keep forgetting they went to the same university. And I would like to read my correspondence in peace. So let's get this over with, shall we? What is it you want to know? Strange. I mean, let's face it. Lord Van Zeeks never minces his words. But they seem to have less bite than usual somehow. Let's ask him what happened. Can you at least tell us your side of the story, Lord Van Zeeks? What happened? How much do you already know? Nothing. We know that the inspector was shot dead in a small rented room on Fresno Street. And that you were found there by the police when they arrived on the scene and immediately arrested. We were told that there was nobody else in the room and that some witnesses heard a gunshot. And you're well informed. And there's really nothing I can add. The truth is, I don't know what happened myself. But the gunshot, obviously you didn't fire the gun, did you? I'm not in the habit of shooting the people I work alongside. I also heard the noise. However, before I had a chance to investigate, I was apprehended by the arriving officers. So he doesn't actually know what happened. If I might ask, what were you doing in that place to begin with? I don't need to answer that. Oh? After all, you're not representing me. He is going to need a lawyer, though. Let me be it. Who is going to be representing you in court, Lord Van Zeeks? Anyone other than you, I should imagine. Would I be right in assuming that you have no representation as of yet? Defense lawyers shy away from any trial involving the Reaper, as I'm sure you know. But this is different. In my career, of all the defendants I prosecuted, only 19 have ever been acquitted. Of them, 16 subsequently died in mysterious circumstances. Questions will be asked now. Surely not. I assure you, no defense lawyer will want to touch me with the end of a barge pole. You didn't actually have anything to do with those people's deaths, did you? It's been 10 years now that I've been known as the Reaper of the Bailey. Believe me, nobody wants to know the true identity of this killer more than I. However, it seems things may come to a head before I have the chance to uncover the truth about that. What does he mean by that? Well, he's not telling us right now, and all that's left on the list is Professor Hairbrain's letter. Maybe we'll get more dialogue. Maybe we'll learn more from that. Has he managed to actually leave the country? We will, of course, find out next episode on The Great Ace Attorney 2 Resolve. Gregson is dead, but we haven't seen a body yet. Bert von Zieks is going to be the defendant in this case. Are we going to be the guys who looks after him? I'd have to bet of a yes, but we will find out what happens. We will find out more next time. I'll see you guys then for that. Bye-bye.